Hey, welcome back. Good to see you. So this part is kind of optional. I was writing a game with a similar system to this one where you also have questions that come up. It was not this project, but I realized there's a different way to do this. Over here, do you see the question box array that holds scenes? Some of you very correctly noted when we first did this that you can do this through JSON. Yeah, absolutely. 100% you can. The project that I was working on used pictures, and JSON doesn't entirely do pictures. I could store a string that stores a link to the resource over here, but for my purposes and the other thing, I realized that an array of resources was better than an array of scenes, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, but then the board game could also use resources. So just for funsies, I'm going to show you how to rewrite this so it uses resources. This will make your final game size smaller. We'll talk about maybe some more advantages at the end, but before we do that, what's a resource? Right, let's go to webcam view. All right, so resources. What are they? Why? This is the best explanation I can think of for resources, and if you're gonna get mad, I highly recommend instead on your keyboard, hit Alt and then F4, and that's going to solve a whole lot of problems for you. You'd never know it because you never see my face, but I kind of like makeup. I find it interesting. This is one of my favorites. It's got like these peachy colors, and there's some purple and a green, and browns are always useful. This one's really old. Don't snitch on me for having old makeup, but this is another one of my favorites. It's got a lot of pink, a lot of brown, but these ones, these are rectangles and these are circles. Ooh, and that's my webcam. Do you see it? Hi. Anyway, point being, so far we've got different colors, different shapes. This is another kind of palette, but this isn't makeup. This is watercolor. You know, it's paint. It goes on paper. Don't put it on your face. This palette is makeup, but it's a special kind of palette. I can take things in and out, right? So what do you want in your palette? Do you want only the brown colors? We can do that. I guess I gotta take this gold out. Wait, but I think I want the big pink, but I want the big pink over here. No, maybe I want the blue next to the big brown. Ooh, and the gold right in the middle. Okay, so what is she doing? Why is she doing this? This is resources. Resources are data structures that hold different kinds of data. Are they holding green data? Are they holding square data? Are they holding watercolor data? We're going to be making a custom resource, meaning we're going to be making pretty much this magnetic palette. You can take out or put in whatever you want, or you can rearrange them. Maybe I want all the big ones together. Hopefully you get the idea. I'm going to clean up. You go back to Godot. You'll get there before me. I'm dirty. All right. Now that my hands are glittery and they smell a little funky, just really, I think the key to this is getting eyeshadow all over your mouse. I think that's really going to make your game awesome. We have a folder called question boxes. If you don't have a folder, make one real quick. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to click create new. And I'm going to click resource. So Godot sees resources as different than nodes. You notice, don't do this. I'm just going to show you a little field trip for you. A whole lot of our scripts extend node 2D. Some of them extend something different from node 2D. But if you keep going up, what do they extend? Node 2D. Resource doesn't. Okay, let me do that again. Question boxes, right click, create new resource. Cool. I'm going to create, and I'm going to call this individual question.tres. Should have made it. Let me click the little arrow and see. Yeah, right there. on question boxes, I'm going to right click again, create new, create script. See where it says inherit? I'm going to come over here and make it inherit resource. I'm going to call this script individual question. .gd and hit create. Now, normally, if you've been following this series, you know, you load up whatever it is and you hit the little arrow on script and you make a new script. I don't know why, but for resources in Godot 4 in specific, I've had real trouble doing that. So we'll just make the script separate and drag it in. Double click to open. Told you it would extend resource now, didn't I? I'm going to give it a class name because we'll need it later. You'll see. I'm going to call it question with a capital Q. Now this is pretty much just as easy as when I was putting the makeup into the magnetic palette. Export, and then whatever it is you want. If you remember from our question box scene, we have a question, we've got 2 buttons, and there is a bool on this thing. Button 1 is right. Let's go back. Let's just make a variable for every one of these. For our question, and that's a string. Export, why are you mad? Oh, you don't know why you're mad? Perfect. Bar, button 1, that's also a string. Because that's going to be the button text, right? Button 2, that's a string. Export var button 1 is right, and that's a bool. Thank you. That's really all there is to it. Resources are not scary. Now this much, yeah, absolutely, we could still do this in a JSON because I'm really only storing text. But just for future reference, if I can make it a string, I can make it anything, right? Export var whatever. I could type it as a texture. Yep. I can type it, if I'm doing 3D, I could type it as a mesh. I could... You can put anything in your palette. But that's going to be our palette for right now. Hit save. Now, come to questionbox.tscn. We're already there. I love that. I'm going to click on the little script icon. Up here in the declarations, I will trash this. Well, I'll trash half of this later. Var question. Hello. Box resource. It's going to be of type question. Because that was the class name we used earlier, right? Load. We haven't made a question yet. Oops, let's fix it. I'm going to right click on question boxes. Create new. Now I'm going to create a new resource. If I type in, yeah, if I even start typing, Godot knows that I want to make something that extends individual question GD. It's question 1, I guess. Question 1.tres. I'm going to save it in question boxes. And there's my little palette. Now that I have it, just to make Godot less mad at me, I'm going to drag in the TRES file, question1.TRES. And now it can find that resource. Let's come over here and fill this. I'm going to I'll make it do the same thing for right now. So the question is, does Godot use signals? Button 1 will say yes. Button 2 will say no. And button 2 is right. Ha! Got you. Button 1 is right. Click. Come back into questionbox.gd. Now at this point, it's just making variables equal other variables. Not the hardest thing you've done all day. We will need a reference to button 1 and button 2. So select them both. I clicked on both of them while holding control, even though I could have done it doing shift. I'm going to drag them over. Press control on my keyboard, bam, both of them are declared. Love that. Come over to ready. Label, which is already declared. Yep. Label. Label.text. I want the text of the label. Hello. Where is it? Question 1. To say this. So I've got to talk to this object. I've got to talk to, we called it question box resource, right? Question box resource. And then, well, I want it to be the same as question, so. Done. Button. That's the first button. Dot text equals question box resource dot button 1. Button 2 dot text equals question box resource dot button 2. Everything looks spelled right. Oh, wait a minute. One last one. There should be a bool up here. Yeah, button 1 is right. Button 1 is right equals button 1 is right. Oh, no. I gotta talk to the question box, don't I? Question box resource dot button 1 is right. So really all we did was make a bunch of strings and bools equal another bunch of strings and bools. Very, very easy. If I've done everything correctly, if I hit the clapboard, it shouldn't crash. Still works. See if I can get it right. Let's try really hard. Ta-da. But you could say correctly, is it really reading? Because you just made it say the same thing. Let me prove love is real. I'm going to come over here to, this is my question1.tres. Does Unreal Engine use signals? I actually don't know this. Somebody told me in the comments, because Unreal is like the one major engine that I don't have experience with. I would bet that Unreal does not use signals, but it does use actions. Tell me if I'm right. Anyway. If I've done everything correctly, bam. Does Unreal Engine use signals? It read right off of that resource, and it's reading the correct answer too. Now, if you want to make other questions, and you do, you're gonna cut on some Netflix or an audio book or some YouTube or whatever you like, and pretty mindlessly make yourself another question. This will be a question. Hello. Question2.tres. And you just fill it out. It's like a Google form at this point. Let me make a couple of questions and I'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm going to change this back to Godot because I don't actually know if this is true. And I don't want to put false stuff about Unreal Engine out there. Boom. Now come over here to main.gd. Whatever your main, whatever it inherits from. Mine inherits from Pink Paste. That is crazy. I remember we got those flipped somehow. Open up main.gd. Export var question boxes array. That's what I'm looking for. This array is no longer holding packed scene. It's going to hold, because we typed our resource as questions, it's going to hold an array of questions. I should have typed it as question, but I think it'll be fine. It's just an S. So, let me close this. Question boxes. These guys are TSCN. They are packed scene. I'm actually reasonably sure that if I fire up Godot right now, it'll just crash. Be gone, crashes. We're going to make our array hold those questions that we made. I made 3. I don't know how many you've made. 1. Let me make it bigger so I can see. I could have just called these 1, 2, and 3 TRES, because in my mind, because they're in the question boxes folder, what else would they be? But question 1 isn't the worst thing ever. Save it. Now, one last slick trick to fix. this? Let me find it. Ooh. Oh, goodness, don't search there. There it is. When the question box comes up, right now we are loading an instance of a scene that's in this array, but we don't have scenes in this array anymore, so we kind of got to fix it. I'm going to come up here to the declarations, and we're going to make a const, which is short for constant, which means it doesn't change ever. The spot where I'm placing this question box.tscn won't change, hopefully, unless something catastrophic happens. But I'm going to type the word const. Godot knows what that means. I'm going to, in capital letters, in most programming languages, constants are in capital letters, just so you make sure you know that they're constant. And I'm going to preload question box scene. So when any board fires up, it's just going to have this guy lurking in the background in memory. Now let's go back to our loaded instance, add it. If you don't have these comments, then I am in the if game places piece.place.direction equals question. That's where we did it. We already loaded it in declarations. So I'm going to take this out. Just because we like each other, I'm going to put that comment there. If our question is going to be the constant that we loaded, instantiate the constant. Nailed it. Now, when this thing loads, there it is. Come over to question box and show you. Forever and always is going to load question 1 because that's what we have it coded to do. No bueno. I'm going to take out this equals load do and just leave this as is. So come back over to main in the same spot. What we're going to do is we've got that array of resources. We're going to actually we're already shuffling the array. Woo, good for us. We've got it shuffled. We're going to set this instance we're going to talk to the question box resource variable and set it to whatever's the front of this. Question boxes dot front. Then we're going to add it to the tree. Then we do all of our business with the dice. Fun fact for you, by the way. While I was writing this episode, I discovered these 2 lines. Yeah, if you flip these bad boys, you cause a crash, so don't do it. What's roll set to? Ooh, let's set roll to 6 so we make sure to hit all the question boxes. Okay. Let's run it. I have my sound off. So if you're really just missing the guitar, I didn't feel like speaking over it. See who goes first. What should happen is the pink piece should get a question box and everything should work beautifully. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I snuck this one in on you because I actually did say this earlier. All right, Dora, say it out loud. It is no 2D. Excellent work. I heard you through the computer screen. Let's make Blue do it just to prove that we can. Godot use signals. Yep. What do you know? I did get it right. Amazing. The crowd goes wild. All right. So, real quick, there's pretty much 3 ways to do this that we've kind of sussed out on YouTube. There's always a 4th way or a 9th way, but the 3 main ways is the old way we had with the scenes. It's great if you have a few questions. The project I was working on had like 60. It would have been too much. It's great if you're a beginner and you're just trying to get your first game out there. A+. It's great if each question does something different. What if I had a question that showed a picture and then the next question showed a video, played a song? That would be a use case for the old way. It's great if you're handing stuff off to a designer, somebody who doesn't code, but they are going to put the questions in for you. JSON, really good if you need just text and numbers. It's great if you're familiar with JSON. There's lots of people out there who use JSON every single day and don't even have a clue as to how to fire the Godot engine up. It's a common programming tool, JSON is. I don't know what to tell you. Resources does everything that Godot does. If you're familiar with JSON, I could totally see you kind of getting frustrated with me filling out the inspector every single time for every question. That makes sense. You could teach a designer resources. I don't feel like that would be impossible for somebody who doesn't code to do. The designer that I was working with a few years ago, I do not think this person would have been able to do JSON. But I probably could have sat on them until they figured out resources. JSON and resources are going to be much smaller file size wise. So if you're working on big game, probably one of those two are the better ones. I am honestly kind of embarrassed that I did not think of resources earlier, but if you've read the description, you'll notice that this is learn Godot with me and not I'm amazing at Godot, so bow down to my feet. We've been doing this for a year, and if I was not smarter at the end of this, then I should be embarrassed, honestly. All right, that's it. That's all I have. Thank you for learning Godot with me. Take it easy, have an excellent one, and make games. Hey, real quick before you scoot, I am on buymeacoffee.com. It's kind of like Ko-Fi and Patreon together. If you found this video helpful or useful, I would appreciate you coming over here and checking this out. If you are willing or able, you can donate on this page.